Hey YouTube, Simon here. It's Friday morning, the weekend after the Veteran Sherman came out. This is the one I got from E-Rides. I think it is the first one sold to a customer in the UK. And I've just watched Marty Back's 92-mile long-range test where he rode around Southern California. So I'm going to try and do something interesting today. Hello, buddy. So I'm going to try and do something interesting today. I'm going to try and ride from East London, I'm in Haggerston right now, down to Brighton on a unicycle on one charge. So I charged up last night. It should be around 66 miles. I'm going to head south, across the river, and then down to Battersea, where the London to Brighton cycle ride generally starts, and then try and make it all the way to Brighton. I've downloaded an app that has the KML files, so I've got the exact route. It's sort of a twisty, turny type little route. And it should be around 66 or 70 miles by the time I get there. So that's the plan. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk about the Veteran, my experiences so far. I've only done so far 25 kilometers in the Veteran, and I love it. My normal wheel is an MSX, and this thing physically looks so much more imposing and is physically so much bigger and heavier, but once you're on it, this thing feels just as easy to control as an MSX. So very, very exciting wheel. It just seems to have absolutely endless power. My Veteran sadly came with a broken rear light, which is not a big deal because it's a module. They're going to send me a new one. And actually, because it's just something you can unplug and replace, I actually plan on 3D printing my own. I don't really like the Superman style, and it's such an easy thing to 3D print a new rear light with a LED strip, or I'm putting an LED ring, so I can make it a little bit more fancy. So not a huge issue. Other than that, the wheel's been absolutely perfect. I've got the one from E-Rides, erides.co.uk. There should be a referral link in the comments if you want to buy through my link. It'll help me buy my next wheel. The FE's got ones with both miles and kilometers as an optional setting. So I've got this set in kilometers. But apart from that, I haven't really adjusted anything. I've put the riding mode on strong, but that's all I've really done. So I'm going to try and keep this video to about half an hour. So let's go. I'm on just going down Brick Lane, a couple of miles from my house, and I just realised I've left my headphones at home. So I'm going to have to find headphones somewhere along the way. London Bridge is closed to everything except bus, taxi and cycle traffic at the moment, which is pretty cool. Just found a bug in the firmware, which is when you switch from miles to kilometers, the tilt back doesn't change. I was wondering why I was getting tilt back doing 36 kilometers an hour. It's because I had it set to 36 miles an hour, so it's something that needs to be fixed. It's honestly so great to be in London and there not be any tourists. It's like crazy. You can never normally like ride down here without hitting a million people. I'm like going past the entrance to the London Eye near Big Ben, and there's not a soul here. There's not a single tourist. There's just a few locals out running or enjoying a stroll. So I'm in Mitchin Common. I've never actually been here before. It's beautiful. I have come quite a bit further than I planned. Actually, I managed to pick up this cycle route, which is the sort of unofficial London to Brighton cycle route, which is really interesting. I planned on stopping in Clapham or in Battersea, but I was just having way too much fun and just really wanted to get out of London. So I'm a little bit further down than I was planning on. but I thought I would just do a quick check-in and talk about the ride so far. I've been going for about an hour. I hit 42k top speed. Yeah, it's been really nice. Yeah, so I started off riding on medium mode, which is actually really soft, and it's one of those things, like, I love riding on soft modes because you get to carve a bit more and have a bit more fun, but I haven't really like fully clicked with this wheel, and medium mode seems quite soft, so I've switched to hard mode, or strong mode as it's referred to on this wheel, which also seems pretty soft. This is Mitch and Common, by the way. It's beautiful. I'm definitely going to come ride here again. So yeah, about an hour into the ride so far. The battery still says like 96%, so yeah, it's going amazingly. Really enjoying it. The feeling of just having like endless power on tap is incredible. This thing just has so much more power at all speeds than any wheel I've ever ridden before. It's in the last little leg, I've definitely ridden faster than I've ever ridden on a wheel. I've probably hit 50 kilometers an hour. It's just been really amazing. This is the first wheel I think that's not a toy at all. This is a car replacement. You could tour Europe on this thing. This is amazing. This is absolutely beautiful. I've never been here before. It's Collison, something like that. It's just rolling hills and beautiful little towns. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I'm so here for this kind of riding. Just climbed quite a few decent sized hills actually, and this wheel is incredible. It just doesn't care. Absolutely unlimited power. Seems to accelerate uphill just as quickly as it accelerates downhill. Coming down my first big steep hill with it was fine. A little trepidatious, if you will, but yeah, it was fine. I didn't want to go too fast because, you know, I don't really know what the braking's like. It's a heavy wheel, it brakes quite slowly. So I'm here at what I think is the halfway mark. Kind of in the middle of nowhere, somewhere called Crawley. Don't really know anything about it. Wheel's been absolutely incredible so far. I've been riding along at about 40 kilometers an hour, sometimes 40, sometimes 45, 46 kilometers an hour. It's saying it's got 64% battery when it was under load. So, you know, I'm going to be pretty close by the time we get to Brighton, running out of battery, which I'm surprised about because I thought I'd get, and that's only probably meant to be about 70 miles, but I thought I'd probably get closer to 90, so, meh, we'll see. There's been quite a few hills that I've gone up and down. This is the unofficial London to Brighton cycle route. I downloaded the GPX file and I've been following it fairly closely. So no main road, or just little roads and cycle paths. The wheel's incredible. It's something else. It's absolutely like next level. I'm quite tired already. Like it's been 2 hours now. my feet are starting to ache a little bit. I'm glad I wore good shoes. But you know, it's like, oh, it's like, it's you. I think because you're traveling, like normally when I ride, I'm doing about 25, 26 kilometers an hour. Now I'm doing about 40 kilometers an hour, and that's fine. But when the impacts hit you, they just hit you with a little bit more energy, if that makes sense. Like the speed of gravity is the same, but the speed that you hit the bumps is higher. So. But yeah, I mean, for the fact that I've been riding for 2 hours and 20 minutes now, I still feel pretty fantastic. I'm going to be tired by the time I get to 4 hours. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll make it all the way to Brighton. I'm really hungry and I just forgot to buy food and water. I was going to, but the shop was huge and I couldn't be bothered taking my wheel all the way in. So yeah, anyway, that's the halfway update. Pretty glad I've got the knobbly tyres on at the moment. This part of the route is a little dirty back trail, and yeah, it's good to have a bit of traction. The tyre is fantastic, by the way, on the road, on the yeah, on everything so far, on gravel, on road, on everything. It's fantastic. It's a great tyre, really great tyre. So yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. So I've made it to the South Downs, which I haven't crossed yet. I'm still on the north side of the South Downs. But this is the steepest hill in the southeast of the UK, I believe. And I'm looking forward to going over it. I brought the Z10 here when I first got it, and had just a fantastic day riding over the top of the South Downs. I think this this route file that I have will try and take me around the South Downs, so I might get off my little route for a second and just try and blast over the top of them, because they're really fun once you get up the hill. And I've still got about 34% battery left, so I'm fairly confident I'm going to make it to Brighton now. So yeah, having a great time. Here we go. Cheers. Climbing the South Downs. Started with 30% battery left. Gonna keep it to about 25 kilometers an hour. Taking a slight detour off the path to just ride up here on top of the South Downs, because it is absolutely beautiful up here. And I came up here in the Z10 and just want to ride it again. It's absolutely amazing. It's what this wheel is built for. Ooh, guess they don't like unicycles. Made it. So, made it. London to Brighton. One charge. Still got about 19-20% battery left, which is great because I'll need that to get from the train station in London back home. No major problems. Came off a couple of times, just being silly, doing jumps, running up curbs and stuff. That's why you wear safety gear, right? What can I say? This wheel just wants to go. Even it doesn't feel any different with 20% charge left than it did with a full battery. It just still feels like you've got, you know, I wasn't riding faster than about 45 kilometers an hour, and mostly about 35 kilometers an hour. So even with 20% battery left, it still feels like it's got all the power you need. Feels completely smooth, completely in control. Didn't beep at me once the whole trip. So yeah, really impressive. So I'm sat on the Brighton to London train back home. Just had a pint down on the pier, and did a bit of thinking about like who this wheel is for. Like, what is this wheel for? So this is just my initial impression after having done a 120 kilometer ride on it. Right now, I will never do a long trip on any wheel except the veteransherman ever again. It is more capable off-road. It just handles like everything. It handles tarmac beautifully. It probably not as nicely as the Z10, because I really love carving on the Z10, like just throwing the wheel side to side, but it handles tarmac beautifully, it handles gravel beautifully, it handles mud, it handles everything with a tyre that comes with it. So I can't imagine doing a long trip on it. I remember when I got my MSX, I thought that was, you know, at the time quite a big heavy wheel, and I was like, I probably won't use this all the time because I want to take a smaller, lighter wheel. But once I got confident with the MSX, and once I'd really like clicked with it, it becomes super easy to move around, so you don't even think of it as heavy, you just think of it as capable, right? And I really want to know if this wheel is the same. I want to know if I get so confident with it that I never put a foot wrong, I never put a wheel anywhere it is exactly where I want it to be. And if that's the case, then I'll probably ride it everywhere. Like, it's just a completely it's in a class of its own in terms of capability. Knowing that you can just turn the tap on and, you know, go up to, I mean, I think the fastest I've been so far is 50 kilometers an hour. But knowing that you're going to have a completely flat throttle response curve between 0 and 50 is pretty amazing. It honestly, even when I had 19% battery left, I don't think I've even read the MSX down to 19%, because you can kind of feel that not everything's there anymore. This thing performs exactly the same at 19% as it does at full battery, at least up to the 45k an hour that I was running it at. So yeah, it's incredible. I really want to like get that, you know, where you've only ridden one wheel for a couple of weeks and you're completely in sync with it. I really want that. I want this to be that wheel for me. I'm very excited about that prospect. And just the fact that I now know, I mean, I'm not even that tired. Like, I'm reasonably fit. I run, you know, 10k before work sometimes, and I'm tired, like as if I'd spent a day at a ski resort or something. But like 3.5 hours on the wheel didn't feel that bad at all. Honestly, I could do that. If the battery had been able to be magically charged, I would probably have turned around and ridden back to London instead of catching the train. It felt that good.